This episode brought to you by Strong Events.
And I just don't know why. Like, why would she say that?
Well, it's okay. You get. Oh, shoot.
Coming up on the show, we have a very special leaderboard update, and Australia invades the internet bar. All that and more is coming up right now. We're bucking around live on Twitch.
Drink it away, Mike. Drink it away. How's it going, everybody, and welcome back to the Internet Bar and Bucking Around, of course. I'm Callum Fletcher, joined by the man, the myth, the legend, Mike Colesworthy.
Ooh, that's the best intro yet. Hi.
Our favorite and probably your favorite Alaskan, Jess, in the production line.
I am everyone's favorite Eskimo.
You're Alaskan?
No.
Yes.
She is.
I'm
She is,
from
Jess.
Alaska, but doesn't make me Alaskan.
What?
That's exactly
what that means. And the queen of sass and my personal nightmare, our social media manager, Jess. How are you doing, Jess?
Look, I got my own beer today.
Hey.
Woo! What are you drinking?
Well, not today.
Yeah.
Blue Moon.
Why
Nice.
not? Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, hey.
All right, well, last week on the show, we had a Calamity trivia.
It was an interesting episode. If you were there, you know.
Federico cleaned up house against some veteran players.
Yep.
Taking home the cake, and I believe we had Philip Beaupre and Trevor Gartner cleaning up second and third.
Yep.
This week on the show, after sneaking into qualifiers, we've got Brent and Garrity doing an exclusive interview.
Very, very cool.
Came and hung out with us last night. But before we do that, we've got a very special edition of...
I believe it's leaderboard update time.
Oh, that was very mellow.
I'm kidding. It's leaderboard update time!
Your plan or my plan?
You choose. You choose.
I'm going to go ahead and play.
You're going to play? All right.
I'll play.
I'll talk. I can talk. I can talk.
I could do this. My mom's been preparing me for this my whole life.
Welcome to Leaderboard Update. Of course, this is a segment in which we play Big Buck and talk about people who play Big Buck. Let me tell you why this one is special, Callum and everyone.
Oh, well, that's shootout.
That's because check-in for the World Championship and the ladies' tourney are now officially closed.
What?
Which means that we are looking at final leaderboards. So let's go ahead and look at our newly Austin-themed World Championship qualified competitors list. This is quite a list, and bear with me.
We're going through all.
I'll do it as fast as I can, but every name here deserves to be mentioned. You guys killed it this year, and as you can see, this is going to be quite a competition. So,
Before you start, bring up the chat on this side.
yes.
If anyone's watching and wants to see any specific bonuses, let me know in the chat.
Yeah, I mean, you won't be able to know for another 30 seconds.
That's
but
fine.
Why not?
Coincidentally,
Yeah.
that's all I'll need.
Cool.
Sorry.
know what that's
I'm so sorry.
All right, so here we go. Are you ready? Congratulations to Trevor Gartner, Ryan Hodgson, Joe Miller, Nate Boyer, Matt Toohey, Matt Peterson, Matthew Garver, James Fish, Derek Tower, Philip Beaupre, James Kennington, Rogelio Anguiano, RJ for short, Lindsay Garver, Andrew Moskowitz, John Byrne, Chris Freem, Mike Ridings, Brenton Garrity, Andrew White, Mike Byrne, Sarah Erlinson, Melinda Van Humison, Alex Durho-Hanishin, Mike Forrest, Chris Burgess, Jason Brulette, Tony Passon, Federico Reed, Scott Van Humison, Patrick Heelan,
You're really doing this.
Jubilee Serenillo, Steve Herring, Andy Lynn, Kelly Clark, Travis Pastrana, Rick Doyle, Michael Paulson, Ori Clark, Dan Brown, Samantha Intrieri, Timothy O'Malley, Steve St. Arnold, Aaron Rappaport, Bernard Michini.
Still going.
Yeah, Kylie Hodgson, Bradley Gartner, Jaron Anderson, Dick Schultz, Robert Aspel, Eric Lau, Sean Stafford, Danny Arbuckle, Bill Hulkey, Eric Schnitzer, Eli English, Ryan Avery Follensby, Mason Powell, Mark Santander, Glenn Rattray, Courtney McLaughlin, Renee Brooks, Drew Baldock, Clint Krieger, and James Martinez. There they are, your 64 World Championship competitors.
Woohoo!
Yes, indeed.
Wait,
so as you
wait,
can,
I missed a few of those. What were they again?
Yeah,
all right,
can
let
you-
me just
can you
start.
go back-
Trevor Gartner. I'm kidding. Thank you, everyone, for your patience. But like I said,
Did I get that one? I don't.
every single one of those names deserves to be read. Congrats to every single one of
Oh, I
you.
missed one.
We cannot wait to see you in Austin. Callan's a
missed
little
one.
distracted, but trust me, his heart goes out to
I
you.
missed one. One.
Just-
guys, one.
It's fine. None of these people will make that mistake.
Yeah, well, way to make me feel bad.
Yeah. So you can see at the end of the list there, you have our Australians, our Canadian, and then 2 of our alternates that got put in. So once again, congratulations. Now,
And keep in mind, those Australians will be seated differently than.
that's right. What you're looking at here is not necessarily the seating order. In fact, it is not the seating order. So stay tuned for more information on that. Ladies tourney qualified competitors. Are you ready? I don't care. Here we go. Melinda Van Humison, Sarah Erlinson, Lindsay Garver, Samantha Intrieri, Jen Reese, Kylie Hodson, Christy Carroll, Melissa Romanek, Julianne Jones, Jill Sands, Emily Dice, Jacqueline Stafford, Alexis Murphy, Danielle Hernandez, Julia Wilmot, Aaron Passon, Shirley Ann McMurtry, Rhonda Doyle, Audra Zettner, Jess Schoss, Allie Gillis, Alyssa Friedman, Kelly DeForest, Sarah Brooks, Renee Mosher, Kristen Jacquez, Kelly Clark, Jubilee Serenillo, and to whoever our 4 alternates end up being. So we might be revisiting this next week.
Just hopefully with less names.
Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll
Well,
see.
no, hopefully with
Hopefully with more
but
names,
hopefully
less
just
read
Mike
out.
not doing this.
There you go. There
What do we
you
have
go.
going on in the chat?
Let's see.
I hope they want to see the waterfall bonus.
Federico was just asking about the seeds. That's right. They are not the seeds. Julianne, welcome to the chat. She's on
Hey.
Philip Beaupre's account right now. That's very cool. And congratulations. Am I doing this right? Yes, you are, STL Girl 314. I'm assuming that's Christy Carroll.
I'm going to guess that's Christy.
Christy Carroll, yeah. So welcome one and all to the chat. Like I said, a very special leaderboard update. Now, let's hop over.
Meh.
Let's hop over to the global top 24. Hey, who do you think's winning that?
Trevor Gartner.
You are just a dumb guy.
Who could it be then,
Are you
Mike?
some
I
kinda
really
dumb
have
guy?
no idea. I'm completely bewildered.
Ryan.
What? That's outrageous.
Wait, which Ryan?
Ryan
Reynolds.
Bosco
Bosco.
Hodston.
Bosco. Did you ever have Bosco sticks in your high school?
Yeah, absolutely.
You had those? Oh my
Absolutely.
god. Did you guys have Bosco sticks?
Delicious.
Okay. Well,
Shout out for Bosco Sticks. Hashtag Bosco Sticks.
Hashtag
new theme of the
not
show.
actually our sponsor.
Not a sponsor yet. All right. So yeah, Ryan Hodston, followed closely by Mark Santander and Will Bromley, who I've been seeing more and more on this list, which is very, very cool. The Australian posse got broken up by Ben Wadsworth, who actually took a little bit of a dip into 6th place. But my gosh, look at all these Australian flags. This is crazy. Jem D. Williamson, Grace Wilkie. There's all kinds of names on here that I have not personally met, but so glad to see you here. And hey, who's that at the very bottom of the list? Our favorite Canadian, Drew Baldock, is back on the boards and moving up. So we'll see a little more Canadian representation now, maybe now that people don't have to worry so much about the qualifier.
so just.
Somehow I zoomed. How do I? What?
Oh boy.
How do I?
Oh boy.
Oh no.
I didn't even want to help him. I just want to watch him struggle.
No, we're good. We're good. So there you have it. Congratulations, you guys. Ranked play. Even in the most heated moments of the World Championship qualifier, there were people in here just fighting it out. So congrats to all of you.
Stall. I want to play one more Pigeon Park. Stall.
One more Pigeon Park. Very well.
Say things that are relevant.
Let's maybe throw it back over to the chat here. Aussie's Buck Better says, congrats all who qualified. Who do you think that is?
Aussie's Buck Better.
Aussie's,
Mark Santander, maybe?
Maybe, yeah. Aussie's Buck Better. Which Aussie that bucks better are you?
And even more so, who do you guys think, especially you Australians, how do you think your other Australian compatriots are going to do in this championship?
I think that, based on what you see here in ranked play, Australia does not mess around.
No, they don't. You know who else doesn't mess around? Jess. For the buckshot of the week.
Jess does not mess around. What a segue.
That was a great segue.
I've been
Great
working.
segue.
I go home and I just stand in front of the mirror, just practicing segues,
practicing segues.
to all three of you guys. Just, and you know what else is great? And
Yeah, just staring intently at yourself going, and that reminds me. All right.
All right, go ahead, Jess.
Our buckshot of the week is pretty cool. It's coming from Christy Carroll's 11-year-old sister, who seems like she might give our ladies champs a run for their money in about 7 years.
Yeah. It's
When
always
she turns 18, she can officially qualify. So
fun to see that grip that kids just instinctively take on the big butt gun, where it's like going over their
The
shoulder
rocket
with
launcher.
the rocket launcher hold.
you need those
Yeah.
extra couple inches of height there. So
Yeah.
it works out. But
It does.
that's our buckshot of the week.
Very, very cool. Thank you, Jess. We're
Aussie's
gonna,
buck better is Brent and Garrity.
of course it is. Welcome back to
Who'd
the
have
show,
thought?
Brenton.
All right.
He just tuned in just in time to see himself on TV. Oh, great. Welcome back, mate. It was good to have you here, and we will get to that in just a second. We're going to change the order slightly, and we're going to talk sponsors real quick.
That's right. Over the years, the World Championship's taken on a pretty diverse set of venues.
Of venues.
Of venues.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And transforming said venues into a buck hunter's paradise is no small task.
And that's why when it came to making the 2016 World Championship a truly strong event, we turned to Strong Events.
Duh.
Well, their Austin-based team has some amazing stuff planned out for the Belmont.
Yes, and we cannot wait for you to see it.
So, Strong Events, thank you guys so much. We can't wait to work with you guys and show everyone what you guys have got in store.
Yeah. It's going to be a good-looking event, in addition to a super fun, wild, crazy event.
Now, Brent and Garrity, man of the hour,
Man of the
snuck
hour.
his way into the World Championship qualifiers last second. Do you want to tell everyone at home about that before we get into the interview?
Well, you know what? He actually speaks to that in the interview.
Even better.
I couldn't think of a better person to talk about it than Brenton himself. So what do you say, Jess? You want to throw it over to our interview?
Let's do it.
Here we go. Thanks, Mike. Looking good today, by the way, buddy. We have something very special for you all today. We have an interview with the one and only Brent Garrity. Brenton, welcome to the Internet Bar.
It's good to be here.
Thanks for coming. We really appreciate it. So what we have for you today is a series of questions that I think the public demands to know. Hard-hitting, very serious questions. Are you prepared?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's
Oh, boy.
dive right in. Question 1. G'day, mate.
Yep. G'day. How
Now,
are you?
Real question,
G'day.
better or worse?
That was worse. That was
Worse.
Okay.
Worse than the first. You
All
should
right,
hear his
fine.
Men Down Under impression.
Oh boy. Hey, real first question. Brenton, you're obviously a big buck celebrity, but for the people at home that maybe don't know who you are, can you tell us who you are, where you're from?
Well, yeah. My name's Brenton. I'm from Adelaide, Australia, which is in South Australia, and I've been playing this game since 2009. I used to play in a bar with some friends all the time, and then I started realising you can win some good money. And then there was a trip to the US to this thing called the Big Buck World Championship, and went to the first one, had a good time, and been coming back ever since. It's certainly worth the effort every single year.
Excellent.
Awesome. Now, what is it like to hail from the land known for fearless, khaki shorts wearing men and nightmarish poisonous monsters?
It's good. It's good. Everyone thinks you're pretty tough for every
it's
go.
good.
Yeah, it's fine.
I don't think
It's not too bad. You don't really have to fend for your life every single day, but it's
I'm
it's
kinda
nice. It's a
scared.
cool place to be from. That's for sure.
Yeah,
I've never
you-
heard of someone who refers to a land where like spiders are like this big as like it's good. It's
yeah,
good.
I'm
That's cool.
petrified of spiders. By the
Are
way.
you?
Yeah.
What's the biggest one you've had to encounter?
I've had a few. Probably about maybe that big's probably the biggest.
I'd burn my house down.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good.
All right, so related question. Do you know how to throw a boomerang?
No.
Have you ever challenged somebody by the size of your knife?
No, I haven't done that either. No.
Would you agree that kangaroos are actually the product of a deer and a dinosaur getting it on?
That could be. I'm not sure if that's been scientifically proven yet, but that could be a possibility.
Can you tell the difference between a young kangaroo and a wallaby?
Yes.
How about a stray dog and a dingo?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you enjoy Vegemite?
No.
What about Marmite?
Marmite or Promite is better than Vegemite.
Yeah, my man. Uh-huh.
So I take it you don't want any Vegemite right now?
No, it's fine. It's edible, but you know,
Okay.
there's better things to eat.
Fair enough.
I feel like these are getting a little just
Worse
and worse as we
patriotic
go
of me,
down,
really.
but I'd just like to ask, do you find the sound of a didgeridoo relaxing?
No, no one does.
Nobody. Not anyone.
No.
Which one of us looks more Australian?
Probably Callum.
Yes! Woo! Moving on. Do you feel that the first people... I hate that this
I don't know if that's a compliment. Or
I
not,
hate that this landed on me here.
Yeah.
Do you feel that the first people banished to Australia deserve to be from England?
Kicked
yes.
out of England.
Sorry, deserve to be kicked out of England?
Yes. Yeah.
Do you hate Callum for being English?
No.
Okay.
Because we're in a room with Americans. Because
We are the majority here.
that's right. That's true.
We are the majority. Appreciate that, Ebony. Who would win in a fight? Godzilla or an Australian rugby team?
Rugby's awful, so Godzilla.
Whoa!
That's not what we were expecting.
Did not see that one coming.
No one watches rugby. Everyone watches something called Australian Rules Football or AFL.
Is that the
so-
one with the... Oh, man. Is it the one with the...
I like Mike Moore. I don't know if I've said this yet, but I renounce my... Yeah,
Nice.
it's much better than rugby.
What did I do? Literally just asking questions that Mike wrote. Like, what is this?
Sure. Do you find commercials for Outback Steakhouse offensive?
I find them entertaining, actually. They actually have a real Australian on there now, I think. The guy
think?
looks pretty Australian.
I'm not
It's
convinced.
kinda-
I'm not sure.
Now, what do you think of the food?
It's good. We've been there. So
Yeah.
it's
You
good.
had
they-
a bloomin' onion?
I had not had a bloomin' onion yet, so
Okay.
I'm
Are
not
they-
sure if that's proper Australian cuisine. But
Those of you that are going to meet us in Austin, maybe look up where the closest Outback is, because we might need to do
Bloomin'
something
onions?
about that. Yeah.
On Mike Colesworthy. You heard it here first.
Wait.
Are there a lot of Outback Steakhouses in Australia?
no, there's none.
None. Not at all.
None
Okay.
at all.
That's, I
That's
feel like that's a
why
fair
They're
question,
just
though.
called
Like,
a
right?
steakhouse. That's all.
Yeah, it's just steakhouse.
That's not one of the questions anyway.
Okay. All right, moving on. Do you find this line of stereotype-driven questioning offensive?
No.
Okay, good.
Because it's not stopping.
Yeah, in that case, is it true that chicks dig the accent?
Yes, it is.
Yes,
it is.
yes.
Only mainly on the East Coast.
East Coast.
Yeah, West Coast, I don't care. I think there's a lot of Australians over there, but over here, yeah.
I mean, not that you would know.
no,
right,
no, of
Ebony.
course, Ebony's sitting over there, but, but yeah, they're a little bit more interested
Cool.
because of the accent.
Can you give me your best impression of an American accent?
Oh wow. Just trying. What type of American accent? You want?
Whatever
Southern?
kind you want. Just your interpretation of an American accent.
Yeah, it's
whether
like,
that's
you know,
Southern.
when Americans hang out together and start talking about Australians, they're like, good day, mate. Yeah.
That's just Mike, just to be clear. I've never done that once.
Down
I
under.
can't think. I don't do a very good one, so I might
Okay,
have to pass on
fair
that.
enough.
Fair enough.
So Americans found Steve Irwin's voice charming. To Australian ears, was he just kind of a loud guy?
No, he's pretty usual.
Okay,
Most
alright.
Australians are pretty loud. Americans have got this big reputation for being pretty loud as well, which is true.
Oh, friends.
But no, he was pretty stereotypical Queenslander type Australian.
Okay.
Now we're going to move away from these Australian type questions, and I want to ask you, what brings you to the land of the free today?
Today,
These are, you can tell Mike wrote these.
I mean, today, like, you're here at the Internet Bar. Obviously, you're here, you know, kind of gearing up for the World Championship, doing some traveling of your own.
Yeah.
What's
Give us the whole rundown.
yeah. Well, basically, I looked at the qualifying Australia this year, and I've been doing it every single year since 2009. And this year, I figured that a few people missed out last year in Australia. One being Glenn Rattray, was actually beating me in the qualifiers for a while. Hurt his hand, actually dropped a keg. Very Australian thing to do, and broke his hand, and that probably gave me the leg up to beat him in the qualifiers in the last week, and they were really battling it out this year, and I thought I could spend the same amount of money qualifying in Australia, which is getting pretty expensive now, but I could spend the same and go on a big trip with my girlfriend, and yeah, so we're going on a big 8-week trip. I got here basically 2 days before the qualifiers ended. Dropped into New York, just stood there and played for 2 days straight,
Yeah.
and ended up qualifying. Now we're just kind of filling in time across the America until Austin
Now-
in a couple of weeks.
What bar did you qualify at?
I went to I actually was staying in Midtown Manhattan, and if you look at it on the map, there's probably maybe 5 or 6 bars, but unfortunately every bar I got to, and I don't know why I planned to get to Manhattan on a Friday night of all times to try and seriously qualify for a video game in a bar, but everyone I got to, all the guns were just broken. And, but I actually ended up, I went to the Four Face Lie, which is a pretty
Popular in
pretty
New York.
well-known
Yep.
Yeah.
in Greenwich Village, and I actually walked in and there were buck hunters that I knew from the internet, Alexis and a few of the guys, so I shot around with them and they got in my ear and told me a few good places, and ended up on the Upper East Side for 2 days at a place called Honky Tonk Tavern. And it's a really good bar if anyone's up there. And yeah, just annihilated that. I had some money left over on my American buck hunter card from some of the winnings from the past few years. Coming 30, you still win a couple of hundred. And so that allowed me to qualify for free for a couple of days and end up nailing it.
So I got to ask, did anyone know you were coming beforehand?
There was a couple of people. Alexis from New York, I kind of gave her a bit of a hint I was coming just to scope out some bars, to look, where's some good ones.
Yeah.
And Scott Van Hermansen, he knows everything about everyone anyway.
That's true.
So yeah, I gave, because he was just concerned. He just emailed me every now and again saying, I had not seen your name on the Australian qualifiers.
Where are you, buddy?
When are you coming in? So I had to kind of fess up and say, oh, look, I've now not qualifying Australia. I've made this little plan and I'm coming to the US to do some qualifying. So
Nice.
he was good. He kept the secret to himself. So
Very
good
cool.
on-
Along with
good on
that,
you.
before you go on to the next one, if
Yeah.
you do win the World Championship and you get the 20,000, is that
Yep.
going to extend your stay at all?
No, I have to get back for work, but it will sure lock in some more trips in the future. As long as you guys keep putting it on, I'll be there.
I was going to say, what would you do with it? I don't think that's one of these, right?
No.
I'm
what
going to be
would you do
boring,
with it?
say what everyone says, and put a HD in my house probably. So.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good man.
We'll do that.
Smart
Good
man.
call. So what is it about Big Buck Hunter that you would say really speaks to Australian sensibilities? Why is it so big in Australia?
I think it's getting big because maybe because of the bar culture as well. It's a little bit differently than the Americans, I think. But yeah, it's one of those things where you can go, you can play with your mates. We're all very good competitors in Australia as well, so we all love our sport, and it's just another extension of that. Really, you can get in and compete with your mates and try and get better. And yeah, I think it looks like it's growing bigger and bigger. Judging by the numbers of the qualifiers every single year, it's just getting bigger and bigger. Which has been good.
Cool. All right. So you've been a dedicated competitor, as you said, since the second annual, which was in 2009. How does it feel to be almost as cool as Andy Lynn?
I don't think I'm anywhere near as cool as Andy Lynn. I reckon Andy Lynn's one of the coolest people. Durho would take offence at that as well. If there was a cool Olympics, I think they'd come in first and second. But,
Cool.
but those two guys are pretty cool.
Nice. So what was that first World Championship experience like for you?
It was interesting because I'd never played shootout before. I'd only played single gun, and I got there and first of all, I didn't know that many people played the game. It was amazing that there was that many people there. And that was over at I think it was the District Bar.
District Bar, yeah.
Yep. And yeah, it's amazing when you think back to what that was like compared to now. But it was just amazing. It was one of the coolest nights of my life. I had my best mate with me. I think I came dead last. I think I died out first shot. I remember the awesome Dave Snipes came over to me, and that was before the night before. He was the drunkest person I've ever seen. Probably maybe the fourth American I'd met, and he was by far the drunkest I'd ever met of anyone. But all he said to me was, "Don't go out, don't go out."
Yeah.
And I died out the first two guys. But yeah, it was awesome. It was good enough to make sure that I made sure I qualify every single year to kind of come back and play.
Inspirational.
You said you'd never play shootout before at all.
But never played it before. I didn't know what it was. I just always played, even with my mates at the pub, we'd just play single game, high score, that was it. All the qualifying was that. No one had emailed me to tell me it was shootout.
Right.
And I got there, I said, oh, two people can play it once? I didn't know. So I had maybe about half an hour to practice, and then I was thrown straight into it. But I learned pretty quickly. I think the next year I did a bit better than the year after. So.
Oh, yeah. All right, cool. Well, coming out of nowhere and stunning the big buck scene seems to be a common theme for Brent and Garrity. You did it 9 years ago, and you've managed to do it again this year in 2016. So I know we've kind of talked about your tour a little bit, but was your tour de force this year planned too far in depth, or was it really just the peer pressure that kind of kicked you into gear?
Oh, no, like I was always going to qualify. Yeah, I'd say that, but I was always going to try and qualify.
You had me worried there.
Yeah, and a few people were saying that, but as soon as I looked at the numbers, and there was a few dedicated, like shout out to Renee Brooks in Australia. She nailed it. As soon as the qualifiers opened this year for the Wild Card, she came out and did like 2 million, 3 million points in the first couple of weeks. And Glenn's a very, very good shooter as well, Glenn Rattray. And I just kind of figured out, I just started looking at the numbers, and it was just more financially beneficial if I was to come over and have a trip instead. So, yeah, it wasn't initially like this is definitely what we're going to do, but I always want to go on a holiday with the beautiful Ebony. And so, yeah, it all kind of tied in. It just made sense. You know, any time we can spend out here is great. So.
Awesome.
So I'm glad you said that, actually, because this is not your first time qualifying as an American. Now, has the competition gotten too hot to handle in Australia, or are you secretly in this like I want citizenship?
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is actually a ploy to get my green card. In the interview, I can say, look, I qualified here, but no, it's just it's one of those things where 2012. Similar thing. I wanted to come over for a big holiday. I'd been here for little grabs at a time, like a week to play in the World Championship, and I thought it'd be great to spend a bit more time here, and so I ended up qualifying then, and yeah, it is getting much tougher in Australia though. I think I'll have to work out a bit of a game plan for next year, or you might just have to start sending more Australians and open a few more windows for us. But yeah, otherwise I'm happy to come here and spend some more time and qualify next year if I can.
It's okay, Brenton. We love you too.
And speaking of those Australian qualifiers, so we've got Mark Santander, Courtney McLaughlin, Renee Brooks, and Glenn Rattray.
Yep.
Can you tell us about the qualifiers? What do you think their strengths are? Who are you expecting to go really far?
Well, it's really tough because Mark's a really good all-round player. We had the Australian Championships earlier this year, so which was a really cool event. Actually, they ended up getting this boat and put it on Sydney Harbour.
Yeah.
And I think they looked like they planned for like 500 people. Like it was the biggest boat you've ever seen, and it was probably maybe 70 buck hunters on it. So it was quite a weird experience. But it was a really good competition. Like everyone really came to play. I ended up coming third, so I can't really call myself the Australian champion anymore. But yeah, Mark's really good. He beat me by something like, I think it was about 32 points or something. I remember it was a salmon bonus.
That close?
One more salmon and I might have got it. But yeah, he's a really good all-round shooter. Courtney's probably the most dedicated, I think. She just knocks out the amounts of numbers, and she's really come out of nowhere as well and played really well. And yeah, she's going to be a force to be reckoned with. It's a bit of a shame she can't make it into the women's championship. I think if she could have made it there, she'd probably give it a bit of a crack. But yeah, so she'll be quite good. Renee's a bit of an underdog. Don't know much about her. She did quite well. I think she beat Courtney as well at the Australian Ladies Championship as well. So they've got a bit of a rivalry going on there. And Glenn Rattray is a really good single shot player. He probably same as me. Really good single shot. Not as great in the shootout, but he's a really good player as well. So.
And before we go on too much further, so Glenn Rattray, and this is someone I want to talk about for a second. He came out of nowhere in the Australian buck scene, I think, probably mid last year, I think. Yep. And I remember seeing all of you guys, who the hell is this guy? Yeah. And then he came forward with his picture with the mask or the head thing on.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, what the hell is this? And then now he's this top player?
Yeah, he's just a really good player. But yeah, there was that little while there where no one could really work out who was him. He didn't really have a proper profile picture on Facebook, which is where everyone stalks everyone these days. And yeah, everyone was kind of like, who the hell is this guy? And yeah, it turns out he's a really good fella and can shoot really well, but was keeping it really low key for a while, which is kind of my style as well. With the American qualifiers, but yeah, he's going to be really good, I think.
He's the Australian Sasquatch.
He is. Maybe he's the Aussie Yeti. I don't know what an Australian Yeti is, but we'll have to come up with
Terrifying.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So, what does your World Championship training regimen consist of?
Well, my training regimen at this stage has just been play for 3 days straight. That's all I've basically done. I didn't play Big Buck for probably about 6 months prior to that, which is, I know you don't like people saying that, but it's sacrilegious of me, really. But yeah, I've been really busy, and it's just one of those things where I kind of consider myself a bit of a prize fighter. Like it's if there's money on the line or something, I'll play just because there's something on the end of it. Whereas a lot of the other guys will just play because they want to get the top scores every week and things like that. So yeah, most of my strategy most years is just play a lot of single gun shootout, just because we have to play so much usually to get in the qualifiers. There's not really enough time to sit out there and do shootouts. So one day I'll have to get a really good shootout partner and team up, because they're the guys that do really well at the World Championships, the ones that usually come in pairs, like the Normans for years. We've got a couple of brothers they play with, so they're always very good. But yeah, it's just been usually nut out the World Championship qualifier as hard as possible, and hopefully that's enough shooting under my belt for the World Championship.
I was going to say, so being over here for the World Championship, you're probably not going to get a whole lot of practice while you're touring around.
No, it's always difficult, and we're here for a few weeks beforehand, but doing lots of touristy things instead, so we're not going to get that much of practice. But it's always one of those things where if this is your first time to the World Championship, make sure you do get in the night before. There's always a bit of a pre-party.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just game on. That we usually try and get a few machines, and that's where you get your kind of last-minute training in. Get to the venues early. As soon as you guys open the doors on the Friday and the Saturday, get there and do as much shootout practice as you can, because that's what I do every single year. And you can usually get quite a few games in before and get those trigger fingers ready.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we will be sure to have games available off of the stage for you to get plenty of practice on before you,
Excellent.
get in the limelight, so to speak.
Absolutely. Now, we've talked about your training. We've talked about the whole regimen and all that. Now, your girlfriend, Ebony, does she contribute at all to your training?
She does. She's getting better. I actually had a safari in my house for a little while. We built a new house and had a little room and put a safari in there. And I reckon she played it maybe 4 times when it was in our house. But she's getting better. She's very accurate. Just got to get the speed there. And she probably could have qualified for the Ladies Championship this year, I think. If I didn't need to kind of hog all the big buck time,
I see.
she would have been able to do it. But yeah, maybe look out in the future. She might
Next
might be
year.
coming up those leaderboards.
Ebony, ladies tourney. Sarah, look out.
Exactly.
All right. Who would you consider your world championship rival? If you had to pick one.
Look, it's been a few. It was early on. It was Max Manning. For those that remember Max, before he started playing Golden Tee or whatever he does now.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were pretty rivals because he finished 3rd and I finished 4th 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
And then I think, just trying to think, Drew from New York. I've drew him in the first round a couple of times. I've died out first shot to him a few times. So we're either match fixing or I'm just not very good. So yeah, I'd probably say maybe Drew, I suppose. I've played the Stephen Norman a few times.
Yeah.
In the World Championships, we've played each other a few times. But it's hard to call yourself rivals, apart from the kind of Melinda-Sarah rivalry.
Yeah.
There isn't too many that really go on. Because everyone's kind of, unfortunately, everyone's kind of really good friends as well. So,
Unfortunately.
it's one of those things where you want to compete against someone, but even when you lose them, you're kind of happy usually.
Yeah.
for that
Yeah,
person
good
that
job.
they
Yeah,
win, so-
you did it.
So damn nice.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
Okay, now this is a 2-parter.
Okay.
Predictions for the Ladies Championship.
I'm going to have to say Melinda. I think it's usually a kind of a 50-50 shot, but I really think there's probably no one more dedicated, I don't think, and gets that amped up every single year. So yeah, it'd be sacrilegious not to say Melinda.
So Melinda for
Sarah,
number
but-
1.
Yep.
Do you have a number 2 and 3?
It's going to be Melinda, Sarah again. Like it'd be great for Courtney to get up there. I think, and certainly Renee. Oh no, sorry, they're not going to be in it this year. But yeah, of those two, if one of the Australians was in it, I think they'd maybe give it a crack. But I think it's going to be Melinda 1, Sarah 2.
Okay, now what about the World Championship?
That's tough. It's a tough one. It's always different every single year, and there's always big predictions early who's going to make it. And it usually ends up being someone else, but who knows? I think maybe Derek Towell. Let's say Skippy.
Go with Derek Towell.
Skippy.
Coming to do
The
it.
return of
Okay.
Skippy.
I think Chris Freems. I think he's probably the best all-round. I've always thought he's the best all-round shooter. So, yeah, it might be Skippy. I reckon Chris Freem.
Okay.
Might come up and win it. Me?
He
Yeah,
wouldn't
we'll
guess
see.
himself.
We'll see. Top 4 would be nice, but
Top 4 would be nice.
we'll
Yeah.
see.
So what is your hunt and fuel of choice? Foster's?
No one drinks Foster's. Very difficult to get in Australia. I'm not sure. If it was in Chicago, I'd probably say maybe 312 or something.
Hey.
Go regional. But we'll say Diet Coke prior to going out and getting kicked out of the tournament, and then I don't know. We'll probably jump on maybe Sam Adams after that. I reckon.
Okay.
Ooh, my man. Boston Lager?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very
good
nice.
choice. All right. Best question here.
Okay.
Which one of us would you rather destroy in a shootout right now?
I'm going to say Mike. I'm gonna say
Fair.
Mike.
I don't blame you.
I've already beaten you prior to the show. So.
I mean, good luck, buddy. I've made quite a name for myself around here.
All right, well, why don't you guys jump on over and get set up and ready?